Many people doubt Meghan has long been a mother, following her attendance at Northwestern University.
Oh honey, Meghan Markle's so-called fairy tale didn't start with castles, tiaras, or royal waves. No, it began in the most unexpected place imaginable, a tiny Las Vegas chapel. Can you believe that? The story that would one day conquer the world started not with a crown, but with a vow whispered under flickering neon lights.
The couple got married after having a child when Meghan was almost 20.
What?
And ended in total, haunting silence. Because long before the cameras, before the glamour, and long before the royal headlines that changed her life, there was one man, Joe Giuliano. He wasn't a prince or a Hollywood executive. He was the man who discovered the real Meghan, and oh, did he pay the price for it. What you're about to hear isn't sugar-coated. It's sharp, raw, and cuts deep. Because the truth, darling, the real truth, doesn't need makeup.
Before she was a duchess, Meghan Markle was a queen.
She was barely out of school, a fresh-faced girl with that polished smile that could melt steel, walking right into that Nevada wedding chapel as if it were a movie set. Everyone there said the same thing. She had it. That sparkle, that charm. But behind that soft smile, something else was brewing. Something colder. Behind the veil, there wasn't just love. There was strategy, ambition, calculation, perfect timing. Her childhood friends swore it was love, real love. His family, though, they thought it was madness. And within a few short months, they learned exactly why. Soon the whispers began.
Told her friends she liked me. I told my friends I liked her, and then we became girlfriend.
Tales of manipulation, sudden disappearances, awkward silences at the dinner table. The Giulianos, a private, traditional, fiercely loyal family, went from welcoming her like one of their own to pretending she'd never existed at all. People close to the family described her as a storm that never stopped performing. She called it independence. They called it acting. No tabloids ever caught wind, no records ever surfaced. The marriage was sealed, silenced, and erased before anyone could even ask why. Because in Meghan's world, every relationship has an expiration date, right before the spotlight hits. Now, 3 decades later, that buried chapter is cracking wide open again. Sources close to Joe Giuliano's circle are finally breaking the silence.
I'll tell you why. What she told the royal family, what she told Harry, wouldn't have jived, wouldn't have been consistent.
They're revealing why the Giuliano family walked away, why Meghan disappeared from their lives, and how that night in Las Vegas may expose a side of Meghan the world was never supposed to see. Her story doesn't add up, her past doesn't match the script, and what's coming next? Oh, it could change everything we thought we knew about the woman who turned scandal into stardom. But tell me, do you believe Meghan had a secret first marriage? Or is this all just another layer of royal rumor control? Drop your thoughts below because this is where the tea starts boiling. It's 1994, Las Vegas, a forgotten chapel sitting lonely at the edge of the Strip. No flashing cameras, no headlines, no celebrity guests, just 2 signatures, and a silence that would last nearly 30 years. Those records buried deep, hidden under stacks of confidentiality clauses and thick layers of non-disclosure threats. But some people who were there, a chapel attendant, a friend of Joe's sister, they remember what the world never saw. They describe a young Meghan Markle, not the confident duchess we see today, but a restless girl chasing something she couldn't quite name. Control, validation, maybe both. Joe Giuliano was the complete opposite. Traditional, grounded, the kind of man who believed a promise meant forever. He wasn't chasing fame, he was chasing love. And for a while, Meghan played her part perfectly. Charming, poised, magnetic, a vision of innocence. But soon cracks started to appear. Family insiders whispered that Joe's parents were the first to notice. The way her answers sounded rehearsed, her tendency to turn every little moment into a performance. It was like she was practicing being someone else, one acquaintance later recalled. Even at the dinner table, it felt like she was auditioning. And then, just like that, their story vanished. No marriage certificate on file, no photographs, no mention in her carefully curated biography. Just a spotless narrative, single, ambitious, self-made, the kind of backstory tailor-made for Hollywood, and later for royalty. Because let's face it, nothing says Cinderella story like a woman with no inconvenient past. But people talk, they always talk. Former classmates, neighbors, even a distant relative of the Giulianos, they all remembered the same things. The Vegas weekend, the sudden fallout, and the money that changed hands afterward. What happened in that little chapel may have been legal, but what followed, that was surgical. A complete erasure of identity, the kind of cleanup job that almost worked. Now those same old voices are resurfacing, and they're not just talking about a secret wedding. They're talking about why it had to disappear. Meghan's official biography reads like a perfectly polished movie script. The underdog tale everyone fell in love with. Born in Los Angeles, raised by a hardworking mom, a bright young woman who climbed from student theater to royal fame. Clean, controlled, perfectly edited. But every flawless story hides the things that were left out. According to public records, Meghan's first documented marriage was in 2011 to Hollywood producer Trevor Engelson. That's the version the palace PR machine loved. The sweet, safe Hollywood prequel before The Crown. But when researchers began digging into her earlier years, they started finding holes, missing school records, altered graduation timelines, and a paper trail from the early 90s that just didn't fit. Meghan often talked about her parents' divorce, her acting dreams, and her fierce determination to rewrite her destiny. But you know what she never mentioned? The summer she vanished from Los Angeles. The same summer, a quiet, secret wedding took place 3 states away. Back then, Vegas chapels kept handwritten ledgers, many lost or digitized over time, but one registry still exists. It shows a couple with the initials MM and JG. Married in July 1994, annulled within the year. Coincidence? Maybe. But the timing fits too perfectly with Meghan's mysterious disappearance that summer. Her early friends remember her nothing like the calm, composed Duchess we see today. No, back then, Meghan wasn't shy. She was strategic, always watching, studying, learning the moves that would take her higher. She didn't follow trends, she analyzed them. Every connection, every conversation was a calculated step. Every smile, a move on a chessboard only she could see. The Giuliano family, traditional, protective, deeply rooted, never realized they'd soon become a deleted chapter in her transformation. But that's exactly what happened. When the spotlight finally turned toward Meghan, every trace of the Giulianos was gone. Their names scrubbed from the record, their photos vanished, not even a whisper of their existence left behind. And that's when people started wondering, what if the story we've all been told is only half the script? Because if that missing year really hides a first marriage, then everything we think we know about her rise, from Hollywood to Buckingham, has been built on omission, not origin. That's where her perfect biography begins to crack. Not from rumor, but from contradiction. See, the first inconsistency appeared in a stack of old Las Vegas clerk logs, handwritten, slightly damaged, but still legible. There it was, a marriage record dated months before Meghan was supposedly finishing high school. No license number, no certificate attached, just a signature line blacked out with ink so heavy it bled through the paper. And here's the thing, legal experts all say the same thing. Records like that don't just vanish, they disappear by request. Then came the Giuliano silence. Not denial, silence. For years, no one from the family gave interviews. No comments, no statements, nothing. Neighbors from Santa Barbara recalled one thing though. The Giulianos packed up and moved to the East Coast overnight. No warning, no forwarding address. When someone asked why, a neighbor whispered, they said they were protecting someone. Protecting who or what? That's still the mystery. And within that silence, more pieces began to surface. Meghan's name popping up on a Nevada mailing list linked to Joe Giuliano's cousin. A photo dated 1994 showing her at a family picnic. The same photo that reportedly vanished after a cease and desist letter arrived. Every thread, every lead, another locked door behind her. Then came the whisper that froze everyone who heard it. A child. Rumors swirled of a pregnancy that began soon after that secret wedding. Hospital staff remembered a young woman checking into a maternity ward under a new name. Same build, same birthmark, same smile. But no official baby record, no birth certificate, no paper trail. Just silence, the kind money can buy and fear can maintain. And the deeper you dig, the stranger it gets. Meghan's birth date questioned, her transcripts adjusted, her early timeline rewritten so cleanly it almost looks artificial. Yet the public story stays perfectly intact, untouched, polished, controlled. But then, the Giuliano family name disappears from every record. Their home, sold under a trust, their photos, erased from online archives, people who once talked about them, suddenly stopped. And that's when you realize this isn't coincidence anymore. This looks like cleanup. Because when the story stops fitting the image always wins. If the Giulianos truly vanished after that split, was it protection or payoff? What do you think, loves? When every inconsistency points in the same direction, can we really still call it coincidence? Or do we call it what it is? Control. Behind every glossy interview, every glamorous photo op, there's a machine, a powerful one. Built not on honesty, but on narrative management. Meghan Markle didn't just rise. She edited her rise. Every erased file, every sealed record, every silenced voice. They were all brushstrokes painting the version of herself the world was allowed to see. Because in Hollywood, reinvention is survival. In royalty, it's reputation. And Meghan? She mastered both. But somewhere between the ambition and the spotlight, something human, something real, got lost. Those close to the Giuliano circle remember that version of her too. A young woman obsessed with image, terrified of imperfection. Every friend became a witness. Every conversation, a rehearsal. She wasn't chasing love anymore. She was auditioning for Legacy, and when reality didn't match the script, she rewrote it. By the time she stepped into Hollywood, her early story had been scrubbed clean. A fresh start, a blank page. The Giuliano name legally erased, replaced by settlements, NDAs, and quiet relocations. That silence? It wasn't accidental. It was designed. For years, it all worked, perfectly, until recently. Because the same pattern that erased her past started echoing in her public life. From the way interviews were controlled, to the staged candor, to the selective truths, the machinery didn't stop, it just evolved. What started as a private cleanup became a professional survival strategy. And that's why this story matters, because it's not just about one forgotten marriage, it's about how myths are made, how charm turns into currency, how secrecy becomes strategy, how an image can outlive the truth it replaced. Coincidence or calculation? That question doesn't just expose Meghan's past, it shines a light on the architecture of celebrity itself, a world built on silence, polished with fear and protected by power. And somewhere, beneath those sealed records and lost photos, lies the real Meghan Markle, the version the world was never supposed to meet. Every secret has a rhythm, a heartbeat that feels closer the more you chase it. That's what makes this story irresistible. It doesn't shout, it stalks. Every revelation lands like a drumbeat. Steady, cold, impossible to ignore. First, the rumor, then the document, then the silence. 3 beats, 1 rhythm, the rhythm of exposure. The tension rises like a movie. Sharp cuts, quick gasps, then total stillness. That's how secrets reveal themselves in real life. A burst of noise followed by denial. The words repeat like whispers. No records, no trace, no comment. Each repetition is a hook, pulling you deeper. This isn't just gossip, darling. It's investigative theater. Facts strip slowly, one by one, layered between emotion and doubt. A photograph fades into a rumor. A courtroom document dissolves beneath a voiceover. It's cinematic. Every beat intentional. Emotion, suspicion, reflection, they all blend into a rhythm that keeps you guessing, never letting you rest. One heartbeat curiosity, the next disbelief, because that's the power of pacing. If you can't look away, you start to question. Fast forward, rewind, pause. Every second counts. That's the rhythm of revelation.